will your next meal come from? It may seem like an easy question for you and me, but for some 700,000 children and adults in Massachusetts, putting food on the table is a constant struggle, and it could get harder. Now that the president has signed the Farm Bill into law, cutting more than $8 billion in food stamp aid over the next decade. As part of this week's in-depth focus report, we're looking at unique ways of combating hunger in our community, starting at a local YMCA. Wednesday nights at Hyde Park's YMCA means more than just hanging out for this group of young people. It's a little cooking, setting the table, and then plenty of eating. Tonight's dish, turkey tacos.
It's that one day a week everyone looks forward to. Everyone's eager to help. We dilly up the chores, so the cooks, the cleanup, the prepare crew, the disinfecting of the tables.
Rochelle Reed is one of 24 kids who take part in the Y's weekly family-style dinner, which started last fall when staff learned that the snacks they gave kids in the after-school program were actually dinner for some.
Most kids, their parents come home around 9, 10, so they go a long day after school lunch to dinner time.
Rochelle, like most of these kids, attends a Boston public school, where 3/4 of students qualify for a free or reduced price lunch, a lunch that's often the last meal of the day for 17-year-old Gabriel Gomez.
I be coming from school hungry, and these moments be like perfect for me because my mom doesn't cook at home.
Gabriel says once he gets home, he does one of two things.
I just go home, go to bed, or watch TV, and that's it.
But team director Adam LaPointe says they wanted to do more than just provide a decent meal.
And I thought it would help bring everybody together and also kind of teach them skills about cooking and about kind of being responsible and learning things about nutritional values and stuff like that.
LaPointe says the dinners have also given him a chance to connect with the kids on a deeper level.
You know, maybe somebody's got some problems at home, or maybe, you know, you learn that one of the kids that you met that's speaking very fluent English that you think actually English was his second language. So it's been really refreshing to kind of learn the deeper level stuff.
And that's a feeling echoed by both Gabriel and Rochelle.
You don't even know people's names, but you greet them because that's how friendly it is.
And it's more like my other family. I tell my mom, I'm not going into Y, I'm going to my second house.
Not every family-style dinner is home-cooked. On occasion, local restaurants will donate a dinner. But then, what family doesn't like a little takeout? My next guest oversaw the launch of the family dinner program. David Lawton is the executive director of the Hyde Park YMCA. He spent nearly 20 years working with the Y locally and in Virginia. Welcome to Greater Boston.
Thank you, Emma.
So, David, did this surprise you to learn that the last meal of the day or the last food a lot of these kids consumed was the snack that was being passed out?
It really didn't. We brought a new teen director in the fall, and what we learned as he started to get to know the kids, that really in the late afternoon, the kids who get to us 4 or 5 o'clock, they're with us till 9. What they get to eat after school is basically what they were getting with us. And so after talking to the kids, we spent some time brainstorming what could we do to make a difference. And so we started this small program. It also helps with their educational achievements as well.
So, I mean, how much of this is they don't have the resources or they're just so casual about it? I mean, when Gabriel says his mom doesn't cook, I mean...
We think it's a combination of factors. Income is a factor, but also how busy folks are at home with parents working 1 or 2 jobs. Sometimes the teenager is the one who has to do the meal for the family, and they're much more likely to do processed foods because that's easier, it's quicker, it's easier to find in the city. And so we found that doing this program where the kids are putting together the menu and everything about the evening has really made a difference, not just in their diet and their health, but also on a social level where they're getting to know kids that live in their neighborhoods but go to different schools. And so it started organically, and it's really made an impact in lots of different ways.
All right, let's bring another voice into this. Ellen Parker is the executive director of Project Bread, an anti-hunger organization that promotes meal programs and nutrition initiatives across Massachusetts. Welcome, Ellen, again to Greater Boston.
So excited to hear about this program. It's terrific.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more of those out there like this, but you've done a lot of research into this and been, of course, on top of the situation for years. But you have kind of a phrase that you use. It's kind of new to people, but it's not really about people that are starving. It's The people who don't know where their next meal is coming from.
Right, it's food insecurity, and just to add to that, I mean, we also say the opposite of hungry isn't full, it's healthy. And I think that this program is precisely what we're really looking for. I mean, people often have a little bit of money to buy food, but not quite enough. So how do we find that? How do we have a more sustainable system where we can allow people to be in programs like this, which are terrific, and give them a little bit of help, but not too much help?
Are you concerned about the Farm Bill, the $8 billion cut? Is that going to make a big difference? Because it is going to have an impact on food stamps for sure.
Sure, and there's an immediate issue, which is a group of about 125 elderly and disabled people may be taken off the program, may not be. The state may make another arrangement. But I think that the larger issue is that there's a lot of hunger in the state. And when we look at solutions, we don't really look at the typical solutions anymore. We think it's really time to reframe this and say there's so many people who are food insecure. How do we support them, but at the same time give them a hand up? So it's a hand up, not a handout.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants to be a supplicant forever. It's a pretty demeaning, awful feeling.
Let's put up a graphic, because, as you said, you've done a fair amount of research about this, and it shows that over 11% of Massachusetts households suffer from some type of food insecurity, and it's risen, I mean, like dramatically since 2000. It was at only 6.4, now it's almost 12%.
That's right. You know, it really, in a very deep way, it really reflects the job structure, that even though Massachusetts came back from unemployment, many of the jobs don't pay very much. So a lot of the expansion's been in the service industry, the restaurant industry, where people just don't make that much money. I mean, the real name of food insecurity is really not enough money to make ends meet. And that's really the story.
So, David, while I'm watching the piece about the Y in Hyde Park, I'm thinking, well, what do these kids do the other 6 days a week?
Well, we do give them a healthy snack every day that we're open and running our programs.
What does that consist of? Like what?
It's a mix of things. It could be different vegetable trays, things that local restaurants have donated. But for us, one of the issues was, what about the stigma of hunger? And so we've made this program into a social positive instead of just calling it or addressing it as a feeding program. And so we think that part of the success and part of the reason it's been growing is because it's something that the kids are choosing to do, and that makes it a little bit different than kind of the old school model of food programs.
Have some of these kids taken these skills into the home and say, hey, I'll make the, turkey tacos tonight?
Absolutely. And yeah, absolutely. And some of them already were, but it was to the extent of cereal and processed foods.
So look at the little head of iceberg lettuce there. So, yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, do you find that people don't really know how to shop, Ellen? They don't know what to buy?
Right.
They don't...
Yeah, I think education is a big thing. I mean, learning how to cook, simple as that is. I grew up cooking, but a lot of people don't.
I know.
And not eating as much meat, using beans, eating chickpeas. I mean, there's a whole sort of educational piece, and we have a chef in Head Start program where we teach mothers to cook and introduce kids to fruits and vegetables. And, it's fun. Food is social and fun, and you don't want to be all by yourself feeling isolated and diminished. You want to be with your friends eating turkey tacos.
Exactly.
So it's good.
So this program did get an extension, too, didn't it?
Yeah, it continues, and we'll be raising our own funds to continue the program.
All right.
What
David
a
Lawton,
terrific program.
Ellen Parker, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.